Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortiwada. In this video, we will learn how to modify our DOM properties or how to assign the values to our DOM properties. This is my streak 15 for JS DOM tutorial series. I have completed all the different types of accessing the elements to my JavaScript file from my HTML in my previous video. Please watch that before continuing this for better understanding. Let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code. Here we have a body and we have index.js, index.html. Now what I want to do is just I want to create a input field. Let me use a input field, and input field will have a placeholder like username and also ID something like username. So what my case is, here we are hard coding these values in the HTML. Let me show the output first. So let me reload here. It is working as expected. Now what I want to do is I want to assign the values to these properties from my JavaScript. How can I do that? Let me remove this placeholder first, and then I can use index.js. Here, whenever we are using an index.js, we can access the elements by using getElementById. I want to access my element is equal to document.getElementById, and what is the ID here? It is username and semicolon. Let me close this, and now this element will contain all the HTML element properties as well. So let me console this, console.log of element, and this will have a placeholder property, value property, read only property. All the properties which are needed for this input can be accessed from this element. So for the first time I want to access a placeholder, so placeholder, and let me save this, go here, inspect, and now let me go to the console, clear it off and reload. Now you got an empty string. There is nothing in this, but the console is getting printed. And now what I want to do is just I want to assign this value. That means I want to update the value of my placeholder. Dot placeholder is equal to, I want to give some username. If you see, before we have nothing in this field, but when I reload, it started printing the username which I gave here. And even if you want to give something like element dot value, then also you can give the value sample test. Whenever the value is assigned to my element, then the placeholder will not be visible. So now we will be seeing sample test. Let me go here and reload. Now the sample test has been rendered. In this way, we can use and we can assign our values from our JavaScript file itself. Now, for example, I have element dot read only. There is a property called as read only for our input field. So for that read only, I'm passing true or false because it is something like a boolean value which will show you whether it should be in read only state or not. That means editable or not. If read only is true, then we should not able to edit it. I'll reload this, and in this case you can see I'm able to edit it. That means my read only property is not rendering as expected and it is treating as a false. Why? Because it is a difference between the properties and the attributes. The difference between these two, I have created one video tutorial. Please watch that before continuing this. In this case, the read only is an attribute, but whenever you are using a capital O, then that read only will act like a property. In this case, it works as expected. That means, let me reload here, and if you try to type something in this, it is not able to edit, and whenever we are giving false, then you can edit it. So let me reload, and here I can edit it. That means now it is reflecting my HTML property value into my HTML content. So let's understand what is the difference between small read only as well as O capital read only, that means camel case. So we wrote something like read only. In my case, the read only, whatever we are using with a small letter, that considers as an attribute which we cannot change, whereas this is something like a property. Now the question is, this is also a property, this is also a property, so we are able to assign it. But how to assign the values which are related to attributes? So attributes cannot be assigned directly. To assign that attributes, we will be going with the examples in our upcoming videos. I'll explain you how to solve this problem and how to use set attribute method over an element in my next video. To conclude this, for assigning any of the properties which are not acting like an attribute, that can be assigned directly by using dot operator. Whereas whenever you want to use read only as a property, then you have to use O as capital, whereas read only small letter O will indicates attribute. Now our problem is how to set the values to our attributes. So we'll discuss how to set that properties to an attribute in my upcoming video. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.